Well, they all just seem to be sitting there enjoying themselves, doing the work, and having some fun. And I think we can finally finish out the rest of this series and this project. I'm not going to say we're going to finish the series today, but anyhow, we've got some things we can do. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Captain of Industry. We have managed to fill up a couple of boxes full of parts. I know it's not a whole lot of parts, but we should be able to at least do something with them. And I have been kind of, I guess we'll do the normal thing we always do. Been a little bit busy in between episodes because if you guys notice, there's an awful lot of extra smelters over here in a couple of places because I did some, I guess moron math, which is what I should have done when I started looking at some of these things and trying to figure out whether or not we could actually expand what we had without having to try to mine any more things. And I'm going to get into this now because the recyclers are something that are incredibly powerful if you're looking for extra materials while you're busy running things without having to build more ore processing plants. So one thing that I wanted to touch on before we kind of ran on with the rest of what we were doing is that I was noticing one dumb little thing, and it's these numbers in here that are very nice for us to be able to see things. If you were to look at your, say, copper scrap for a minute here, I think we can do this. Copper scrap, just kind of really quickly here. And we look at total production here. If we go up in here, we're kind of hanging right around 300 when the system is running. Well, theoretically, that's 300 extra resources that you can shove into the system over here, which means that's 300 more, well, excuse me, what is that? 6 more of these plants, theoretically, that we can run. Now, I wasn't able to put 6 in here. I was able to put 3 more in here. But with the steel, yes, we were doing about 300 to 290 extra steel, or excuse me, iron scrap. So yes, we was able to stick in 6 more of these systems here. So we're now making a nice, cool, let me see, what is the number here? About 310, 340, yeah, 312, 340 steel per minute over the 192 or whatever it was that we were making before. So that definitely helped. We're actually at a point now where when I run some of these researches, of which we have done a fair few amount more of them. I think I've done everything in both of these except for the solar panel one, because I don't think there's a reason for us to bother with solar panels right now. But we've done all of these at least once, maybe. Well, I don't think I've done the Unity one, the focus points, because we're not doing that right now. And we may have to get into it, but that's, again, end of the thing here, and there's no real reason for us to be messing with it. Yeah, the thing that's causing us the most pain now are these things, because they don't make enough in order to be able to keep up with everything. So it's pretty cool now that I can pretty much just turn this thing on, set these up to run 133 research points per minute using the, using the settings in here, run the 500 science that I want per minute, and just do it and not have much of a problem. So at the end of last episode, we were starting to build these things that are required to go find out whether or not we can find an asteroid and then pull the thing back down. And as such, I have been playing back and forth with these two things a little bit, back and forth, just kind of messing around. I've managed to run it out of fuel once because I was not paying attention to what I was doing. And you know how that all goes. I'm still doing, still doing everything that we have been doing, but I think it's time to try to figure out how we should do stuff as far as getting the rockets and whatnot and the asteroids pulled down. Another interesting thing, I guess, that I did just recently do is we used a bunch of rock right here to, again, build this little platform headed over to here. And probably in between episodes, I'm going to start farming the gold. I had to get the rails, at least a spot over here built so we could pull the rails through. But we now have a nice big wide cut through here, so the rail line does no longer go along the edge of the tree farm. It comes out here and kind of just goes along the deal. I kind of had this plan to build a kind of a rail spine across the entire network, or the entire island, as the way things go. And it is kind of sort of worked that out. I still need to kind of finish this little straight spot here, but sure, is what it is. And again, it is how things are working. And I think the first thing we're probably going to go look for as far as asteroids are concerned, if they are at all available or possible, is the titanium ore. Because, well, I knew that this wasn't going to be very good when we got into it because it's not very good. It's mostly buried. So I think the first thing I want to do is I want to get an asteroid and I want to set it right down here in the middle of all this. That should be, hopefully, mostly titanium ore, because this deposit is miserable. It's kind of laid over the side of a mountain. The little mountain range that was right here is just kind of laid over a couple of 3 or 4 layers deep, and that's it. So if you look at it, like, it just kind of not very deep, not very great, not very, there's a lot of it here, but it's not very deep, and you have to dig out an awful lot of rock. I know it's kind of hard to see through some of this, but you have to dig an awful lot of rock to get this little patch off. There's titanium ore underneath all of that little grass area, but it's under a lot of rock. I mean, just a lot of rock. So I really would much rather just, I hate to say it, obliterate this and put something down that's going to have a lot more density to it than anything else. And that's the point of asteroids. So the first thing we need to do in order to get the asteroids going, I've already done a little bit of look-see and a little math. I have removed the electronics 4 from the system on both of these rockets because we're not going to be using them for the space science research up here anymore. As far as I'm aware, I've done all the things that matter for these things, which is fine. That's okay. We don't care. Actually, the space station, the thing that I think I probably need to do is go ahead and upgrade it to the next level, because this will give us 30% research bonus. I think every time you add another set of things in here, I don't know how many you can put in. I don't really actually want to know, to be fair. We'll give you another 5% on your research bonus, your efficiency, and we'll give you, what did they say, how much here? Another 5% on the unity that this provides. Now, in reality, I should probably just let this thing fall to the ground. We should just let it go away, because in reality, this is, as far as I know, not necessary, although we will see. It might be where we house our parts. So one of the things that I did not notice or didn't pay attention to in the last episode, and we're going to make sure we point it out here, is that what it says right here, products are delivered to orbit via rockets. These supplies are then used for advanced missions. You can set a limit on each product, and the rockets will only deliver until the limit is reached. Now, this is something that you need to look at, and that's why I'm making a thing here, is because this number right here is adjustable. So I'm going to set that number to 80 at this point, because apparently I only need, and I don't know how many of those we're going to need, but looking at it here in the button, it requires 40, I'm assuming, or 14. One of these two numbers in here. I have no idea which one is which. We're going to find out. Again, we're learning here. But I don't want any more than, say, 80 or 2 rocket loads into the world. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to say you are going to be probe. And go ahead and keep full. And you are going to be asteroid booster parts. Go ahead and keep full. And then once they deliver both of those to the system over here, then I'm going to kick this back on. Well, that should actually automatically kick itself back on and go to work, because we have been dumping all of the excess of the blanket fuel here enriched into a bunch of these chemical plants in order to be able to make the excess blanket fuel that we need, because I have a pile of it over there with this old depleted uranium, which actually we've been slowly eating up. I mean, that pile was to right here, and then there was a long little nose on the end of it over here. But yeah, we're slowly eating it up. It's gonna probably take another 100 or 200 or 300 years to get that done. But all right, you two need to, be allowed to empty. Yes, and empty. And then that should allow us to do a few rocket launches, and we can see what happens. So once they get those delivered, I'm assuming, once a second, we should be all right. Everything's full. So we're crewed. They'll have to dump some crew in that in a couple of months. Go ahead and kick that up to 3. And they should have enough food and things, so we shouldn't be too screwy with that. Let's see what we can do. So you're going to be our what? You are the asteroid thingy. That.
3, 2, 1,
and you are going to be this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
So it launched both of them to do that's one of the things that it is doing, and I need to probably stop that, is it launched both of them to replenish this. So yeah, we probably shouldn't be doing that anymore. But at least they're working. Okay, so that should launch there, and then you're delivering some of those. Good. And once the rockets are ready and able to launch, then we should see what happens. I really should upgrade these. Here, get hot on that. Just go a little faster, please. 60 a second's kind of slow. Like, do it. Go. Thank you. There we go. Now they'll go.
3, 2, 1, liftoff.
And that should have sent us a bunch of probes up, correct? No, people. Yeah, well, I guess we were getting to that point. Oh, I know what I accidentally did. I clicked the that's fine. I'm not worried about that. I'd rather have the research bonus at this point, but that's perfectly fine. Not worried about it. Send us up the rest of the stuff, though, please, guys.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
I'm gonna burn some resources here, making a bunch of rockets.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
Okay, so there's 42 of them coming. I did do the research to get a little bit more rocket usage, so, or at least things. So, do I just spend space probes to locate a new asteroid? I'm gonna go ahead and have it do it and see what it finds. So is it 2 per? I mean, I'm very interested to see this because this will allow us to pull our resources in a lot closer so that I don't have to have so many stinking trains running all the time. All right, so that used 40 of those parts to bring us a 378,000 crystal. And I know that these... How many of those boosters is it going to require? 240. Okay, well, I know what I need to do there. Thank you. We're going to let the game run a little bit.
5, 3, 2, 1,
and fill up some stuff. Now, I understand, again, this is probably the reason why I need to start really thinking about making these, but at the current process speed at which we're building those parts, it can wait as far as I'm concerned. So let's build a few things, and I do not know why you're not full. Please fill that back up. You're empty. Why are you empty? What happened? How am I out of those? Does this have an import rule that I don't know? It shouldn't. Interesting. Okay, well, I guess we have a problem, and I don't know why. Let's, we'll do this. We're gonna grab you. We'll do an export route here, and I need to hit everything that needs to be exported too. So you, and you. Is that gonna work now? Okay, cool. So then I want to copy that one, because I still have one of these sitting up here. Copy, 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 pasta to there. And that should be all that we have to worry about with those. All right, so go ahead and make us some more tungsten or titanium alloys or whatever the heck this is. I suppose I have to tell this too, because for whatever reason it does not want to. Oh, that's emptying. Right, never mind. Well, I guess we can do the same thing. Export, go. there. All right, let's see what else we can find. We got enough up there for 2 scans.
5,
Do it
3,
twice.
2, 1, liftoff.
See if we can find anything else. Like I said, I'd kind of like to find some interesting, usable stuff. I know that these initial asteroids are not very big, so I don't want to go wasting a whole lot of supplies on something that's not going to last us a reasonable amount of time. But I guess it is what it is. Hey, where you go? Iron, that'll work. And beautiful. That's what I wanted right there. So once that gets enough of those, that's going to be 360 of those. Oh, I love it. 360. Then we set that to there and away we go. I'm going to let that fill up, and then I'm going to bring that puppy home and plunk it down in the middle of an area where we need a lot of stuff, meaning hopefully there's enough room right here to drop it. So yeah, I guess we find out. I need you guys to just go ahead and keep scooping up this garbage that's laying here, and if I need to, I'll have them dig in here. I've kind of got this set up a little funky so that they kind of trace the outline of where it's at right now, and hopefully they can find stuff. Cool. I mean, I suppose while we're at it, we could do a little bit of research. Let's see, where are we? Why not? How much more crop yield do I get if I do this? 1%. So, like, I don't even know if some of these are worth the time. I mean, granted, I understand it, but I don't know if they're worth the processing. Like, the next level of rockets is 47,000. But I could add a few more vehicles. Or maybe I need to do that one. I haven't done that one yet. We'll do that for a little time. Oop, we might need to turn that up a little. That's fine. How are you guys doing? Output's full. So you're short what? Those, right. I knew that was going to be a problem. We did double up on that and get it going a little bit, but with all the rocket launches, we're now killing that. So I may have to equal split this. Or maybe we just do that and let it split between the two. And since this is slower, it'll end up with a trickle. What else have we got? We've got enough to do 2 more scans. Let's scan a few more. Let's see what else we can come up with. I do have enough food in these, right? So as soon as we get something that's ready to go, one of these should launch with what they need for the rest of this. Oop, got a quick click on the wrong button. Yeah, they're going to get probably one of these launches fairly soon. It's going to need to be crew and...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So that should be crew for food. Another iron asteroid. Love it. So radius 76, 86. Oh, I didn't realize the radius was right there. So the first one was pretty small. Funny number. Whatever. Fill up, fellas. I think we'll probably pause. Let's just do this. We're gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna let that fill up, but I think I'm gonna put this at like just 40 for now, since that's all it is. There's no reason to bring any more than that up there. And you guys just need to build parts, which means I need those things. This doesn't need though. Yes, they do. Okay. I don't evacuated. Well, it's because we kind of screwed up and now we're having a problem. Again, I might just let this thing fall out of the sky. So if I wanted to do that, I need 600 of those, 400 of the, oh. Yeah, we need 360. Okay, so that's the number I care about right there. So I just need to get hot on making things. Yeah, I know, and it's probably going to fall out of the sky, and I'm not really worried about it. Again, if it falls out, it falls out. I'm about to just shut it down. All right, now that'll be our last rocket in order to be able to pull that one down. 378 parts. So like I said, I want to play with that one right there, but I do know that I want to do one thing beforehand, and that is I want to move everybody out of the way. I know that much for a fact. So you guys are going to do me a huge favor. We're going to come over here and we're going to delete all of that. Every bit of it. We don't care. Stop mining. Go away. And then I'm going to pull these two gentlemen, or these excavators, I guess I really don't know what they are, over here. Out of the way. And I think we'll try to land it like maybe right here with as minimal damage as possible, because I do know for a fact that they will destroy terrain and things connected to the terrain. So I want you... And once it gets here, I guess I didn't have to do that, but once it gets here, I don't know how long that's going to take. I'm assuming it'll let us know. Maybe I didn't need to completely delete that. It's fine. I think we have... Well, we actually don't. I need those guys to be mining that right now. Guys, can you do me a favor? We'll just, Well, I don't know. Again, let's click on the button. We'll see what we see. I'm assuming probably like a year or something. That's interesting. Maybe? All right. Well, I mean, I don't want to lose anything, but can you guys do me a favor and at least keep digging the garbage that we have for now? And then when it gets here, we'll move you. I didn't realize there was a moving process. I don't know. Anyhow, get to work. They'll jump that up, and I guess I could have had them dig this stuff, but that's fine. Make parts. We need the stuff, because I am desperate for this kind of things to keep things going so that we can keep those parts moving. I'm going to... Well, we'll let them fill that up. That's fine. I guess that just needs to keep pumping in. And I don't have any more probes to be able to look at anything, but we do have a bunch of stuff here. I think my only other real concern is... Oh, okay. So it says it's ready. All right. Let's do the thing that we need to do that I just got done doing, because that didn't take very long. It took a little bit of time. So let's go ahead again. We'll get rid of this. I don't want them in here. I don't want anybody in here trying to dump or dig or do anything. And you guys, I need you to go back here out of the way, because we're fixing to drop a really big rock on what's left of what used to be an island right here. I might dump it like right here, because there's an awful lot of sand right here too that I guess I don't really care about. Are you guys out of the way and you're safe? All right. Without further ado, select the landing zone. I'm assuming I don't want to be anywhere in that line, huh? I say we do something about like that. And hope it doesn't wipe this out. If it does, I guess, whatever, deliver it. Oh, that's cool. It's too bad we don't get any more animation than that. But there's a big rock that didn't... Okay, so that's good. That didn't hurt too much. So now we have to... How deep is this? Oh, my. See, now that's what I'm talking about. That's a deposit that we can play with. Plus, there's a bunch in the splash out here. That's... perfect. Excellent. You guys do me a humongous favor. I guess we start... Well, since there's a bunch of holes, this is going to be a nightmare, isn't there? No, I think we can get to it in here. Let's do this. We'll start by leveling like that. And then they can fill in the dirt so that we can mine it back up and move things around. So yeah, they should be able to now do a few things. That's also going to be a problem because I don't have any more of these things. We may, like I said, we may end up losing that space station. I'm not 100% certain yet, but there we go. There's a nice big rock, and I know they get bigger than this. I believe me, I know they get bigger than this. The picture on the thing when we first start playing the new version shows you just how much bigger that is. But it will also, for what it's worth, if you drop something like, say, this on a different location, like, say, here, it will for sure wipe out all of the things that are underneath of it, including if you accidentally nuke your base, which, I don't know. We might do that to finish this series. At least for the giggles of it. Anyhow, I'm going to let these guys kind of dig a little bit and figure out what they can and cannot do to provide us with a little bit of service. I suppose I should probably just dig straight into it. I was hoping that they would be a little smarter on this, but we shall see. This needs to get put to there, it is, and this needs to get put to there, it is, and that way we'll just be hauling the trash out here and kind of filling things in so that they can get to the edges of stuff. Let's back off on this a little bit and just, you guys do me a huge favor and get to where we can get to it. And then we'll see where we go from there. So, all right. Well, there we go, guys. Asteroid delivered, and I will probably do that again. I don't know. I'm contemplating maybe dropping one over here in this nice big flat spot where we used to have copper. I do have a lot of iron still sitting right here that I'm not really concerned about, but we do have this other island location over here where if I felt like it, I could load up a bunch more stuff and say we drop the smaller of the two these over here and not worry about what's here. So that was like 300 and some odd thousand tungsten, titanium ore that we're going to be able to play with. And if that's the case, like say this, man, there's just too many clicks to get to a point. 1.3 million in that and 732,000 in that. That's an awful lot of material that we can put relatively close to the base, and that would not bother me at all. So I think the next thing I'm going to do, we're going to just kind of let things run. I'm going to let that build back up. We're going to get a bunch more probes in, i.e. I'm just going to go ahead and get these filled back up as best I can. And then we're going to go ahead and start making some more probes. I would like one full of coal. I don't know if that's a thing, because if it is, I'm going to drop it probably right over here or someplace a lot closer than what we're currently doing because of the amount of coal that I am still using. However, I think probably in between episodes, I am going to start changing out at least one or two of these things for the arc furnace 2s, just so that we can start using up some of our graphited rods, although I did manage to use a decent amount of graphited rods up to do some of that stuff. Anyhow, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I will call it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know what we're going to do for the rest of this series. I'm probably going to spend a little bit more time just kind of playing and messing around, and maybe we do a couple of little bitty, off and on episodes for something. I don't know how we're going to do it, but yeah, I think that's kind of cool, and I'd like to drop something a lot bigger than that. So I'll see y'all later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.